Hey guys, this is Cadet Hedgepeth, and with the help of Cadet Card, we have prepared this video to address how to wear OCPs and what specific squadron standardizations we will be doing to ensure we are in regulation for Tuesday PT. First things first is we will start with the boots. So your socks, they have to be a coyote brown like these socks in the video, or they could be the DLA issued green. This is according to the AFI 36-2903. And then all of that green is the color of the DLA issued green socks. So if you're looking to purchase the green version, that will be that specific color. If you're not issued any socks and do not have the brown or green, then black socks will be worn for PT, and white socks are only to be worn if no other color is available to you. For standardization purposes, on Tuesday, we will be tucking in the end of the trousers into the boots. So when putting on your combat boots, it is highly recommended to tuck the pants into the boots before lacing. And as you can see in the video, I am currently tucking in the pants as so. If you want to, you can use the built-in blousing straps into the trousers and tighten them in before sliding them into the boot, but that's up to you. So for lacing the boots, it's very important to pay attention to what foot you're putting the boot on. Though the AFI 36-2903 does not say anything specific about how to properly lace your combat boots, for standardization purposes, we will be lacing them exactly like the picture that Cadet Daniel has provided us. So for the very first lace on your boot, it will be laced from the outside, which will create a straight bridge. Depending on what foot that you are lacing, however, the way that you will lace those boots will differ. This is my own personal preference, but I prefer to make sure that my laces are of equal length on both the left and right lace. This will just save time to readjusting your laces when it comes to actually tying your boots. Alright, so I have switched the video so that you can see how it looks like from your own perspective once you start tying your own boots. So again, you're going to lace the first laces from the outside like so. And again, this will create that little bridge appearance on your lace. Depending on what foot that you're lacing on, the lace for this inside will be laced first towards the outside of your foot, and then the opposite lace will follow. That way, once you start lacing, it looks like that the lace that is on the top will be painting upwards towards the inside of your legs. You will repeat the process, and you would just keep on doing it until you finish lacing the boot, essentially. As you can see, I am starting with the inside lace pointing towards the outside. Make sure that these laces are also underneath that little bridge lace that you created. As you can see, the lace that is on top is pointing upwards towards you, towards your head. And you can see that it is also pointing towards the inside of the body. As you can see, the pattern is becoming clearly more defined as you continue to lace your boots. Again, you notice how that the lace on top is pointing upwards towards you. Imagine that you are someone else looking at somebody's laces. You will notice that those laces will be on top, will be pointing upwards towards you, towards the midline of your body. And the other lace will essentially be covered and pointed towards the outside of your body. So once you got into these hook leg eyelets, the pattern does remain the same. There's something different about it. However, when you start lacing these eyelets, make sure they lace from the bottom of these hooks and not the top. Otherwise it's gonna look weird and just really sloppy. This is my own personal preference, but when you are lacing these hooks, I always like to tighten the laces after every row has been completed, just because these are going to be on your shin and you would want more support in that area. Alright, and this is what it should look like after you finish putting the laces in the eyelets. Alright, and then notice how there is that specific pattern where it sort of just goes up towards the midline of your body for the top of the lace. Alright, so you're just going to go ahead and tighten the top of the boot with the lace as such, like how I'm doing it. And then this is where the standardization part comes in. So you're going to bring the two laces close together, and whatever foot that you're on, you're going to move the laces towards that side. So you're just going to move it towards the outside of your boot. And you're essentially going to grab the two fingers, you're going to hold it as such, and you're essentially going to loop the remaining laces around the edge of your boot and make it come around and slide underneath so that it creates sort of like a slip knot. And this will act as basically as like a little lever. And make sure that you do adjust the laces so that they are closest to the top as you can. And if you notice, you see that there's that little flap at the back of the boot. Make sure that these laces also tighten around that as well. As you can see, it looks like a lever, and that's what you want to go for. So once that lever has been sort of established, you just take the remaining laces and you simply tuck them in on the side or on the back. Don't worry, this is not going to cause any issues of the laces coming out or anything. It is still secure as you're basically creating that slip knot. Now we're going to go into the left boot. It is the same process as with the right boot. However, if you look closely, you can see that the directions and which lace goes where is the opposite on this boot. Notice how that the lace from the inside is laced towards the outside first, and then the lace on the outside is laced towards the inside after. Now, if you look closely, the boot is also following a similar pattern, where again the top lace is pointing upwards and is pointed towards the midline of the body. And remember that when it comes to these hook eyelets, that you insert the lace from underneath, not over top. That is just going to make it a lot more presentable, a lot better, and it's pretty much the correct way to do so. Again, just make sure that you secure the top like so. And again, you're going to bring the two laces forward just so that you can create that little knot formation that will go around the boot. So again, make sure that the laces are as close as you can towards the edge like so. And if you notice, there is the extra bit of the blousing straps from the pants. Make sure that you do tuck these in. I did not realize this until a little bit later on in the video. Again, you're going to do that little knot formation, and it is going to again come in from underneath. And then when you come in from underneath and you pull it to the side, it sort of acts like that lever. And then again, the extra laces will either be tucked in, or if you have a long enough lace, it will just go around once more. Alright, so now that we have completed the boots, we will go over how to wear the belt. The belt is pretty self-explanatory, it's just like any other belt. So for females, we will be using cadet car as the example here. For our women in squadron, you will make sure that you will tuck in the belt and feed it through your right so that it comes around on your left. Make sure that you do put the belt under every single loop. Definitely double check with a mirror or just simply have a feel for it. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and take the end of the belt and slide it underneath the buckle so that you are able to adjust it as needed. Once you have finished adjusting it, you will then slide it, fold it over and underneath the buckle again like so that it secures the belt in place. As you can see, it sort of looks like how it was before. And then you're going to take the extra belt and slide it underneath the hooks. Now, this is also a personal preference, but you do not have to cut the ends of the belt. However, it is up to you if you really do want to or not. If you do want to cut the ends of the belt, you can either cut it with scissors and use a lighter to essentially melt the end, or you can fold it like how cadet car does. Alright, so this is going to be for the men in Squadron 2. It is essentially going to be the same thing as for the women as Cadet Car demonstrated, but me, Cadet Hedgepeth, I'll demonstrate how to wear it for the men. Again, make sure that when you're wearing the belt that the serial numbers are on the inside and not the outside. So for the men, you're going to feed the belt through the left so that it comes out on your right side. Again, if it helps, definitely use a mirror. As you can see, I had to pretty much turn my body the whole way around to see what I was doing. Alright, as you can see, the belt is fed in so that it is on your right side. Now, just like with Cadet Car, you're going to slide the belt underneath the belt buckle. That way you can tighten the belt as needed. Also, it is important to note that the buckle has to be aligned with the pant flap. This is known as the gig line. Just make sure that this is aligned after you've adjusted the belt and secured it as well. Once you have tightened the belt, you can either hold the belt so that it stays in place, or you can just simply adjust it as needed. And you're just going to fold the belt over and underneath the buckle to secure the belt in place. As you noticed, I have cut the ends on my belt, and I melted the ends of it with the help of Cadet Gilbert and also Cadet Anderson. Alright, and then again, key note, just make sure that your gig line is straight, and then it creates a perfect line with the buckle and the flap of your pants. Alright, and then pretty soon we are going to be going over how to put these patches onto your blouse. You will need the Air Force RTC headquarters, the detachment insignia, the US flag, your last name, and the US Air Force tapes. So this is how your blouse will look like without any sort of patches. It is important to note that anything on the right side as shown is who you are, and anything on the left side is what you are. So your name will go on the right side as how Cadet Car is doing it, and the US Air Force tape will be on the left side. Again, your right side is who you are, the left side is what you are. Another easy way to remember this is you always have a right to your name, and that your heart will always go to the US Air Force. Sometimes the Velcro is not going to be exactly aligned with each other, so if that is the case, just make sure that it is centered to the best of your ability. Alright, and then now we're going to go ahead and show you how to put on the Air Force ROTC headquarters patch. When placing the Air Force ROTC HQ patch, you will center the patch on the Velcro from both the top and the bottom, as well as the left and right sides, so it'll be smack dab in the middle. As you can see, it is even on both the top and bottom, and also the left and right. Again, the left side is what you are, so the US Air Force name tape and the Air Force ROTC headquarters patch. Now we'll be going over to the right side. This is where you will be placing the US flag and also the detachment patches. So for the US flag, make sure that you are flushing it along the top edge, but also centering between the left and right. Make sure that the stars are facing on the top as well. Do not flip it, because that shows signs of retreat. Now for the detachment patch, it is a pretty large patch. However, you will be centering it between the US flag and the edge of the Velcro. You will not be flushing it against either side. For the left and right side, it will look like it's flushing against, that's just the natural width of the detachment patch. But again, you will notice that there is space between the US flag and the detachment, and also the bottom edge of the Velcro. Again, the right side is who you are, so it's going to be your name, the flag, and the detachment. The left side is what you are, so the US Air Force tag and the Air Force HQ. This is going to be where your rank will be placed. When you receive the rank, it will be facing upwards, kind of like a house. We don't have them yet, so don't worry about it just yet, but we will receive them at the end of PT. Now we're going to go over how to wear the blouse. So first you want to zip up the blouse. Notice that there are two zippers. You would take the end of the zipper and place it through both of those zippers. However, you will only be pulling up the furthest highest one as such. These do not come up too far so that your undershirt will be exposed. Also, do note that the inside has Velcro, so you will essentially just close it as such. They should automatically be aligned, so you don't have to worry about that. And also for the collar of the neck, make sure that it is folded like so. Now we'll be showing you the standardization for the wrists. This is essential because it's pretty much one of the most noticeable things of your uniform. For Squadron 2, we will be going towards the second buttonhole. That way there's enough room so that air can still come in. However, it is close enough so that it doesn't look like we have wizard sleeves. This also should give you enough room to put your watch on as well. And this is how it should look like once you put the button through the second hole. Notice how there's enough room for your watch and also for ventilation as well, but not too much so that it's like a wizard. Also, please do know that the watch will be on your left wrist. Finally, for your cover, make sure that the name tape is again centered with the Velcro if it is not the same length or width. Also, do note that you should definitely bend the flap of the hat so that it's not just completely straight. Okay. And that is all. I hope that this has helped you. Have a great one.